Hi, everyone. I'm Teresa Lisum coming to you today with my amazing guest co host, Robin Anderson Gibbs. And we're evolving women. I'm evolving. You're evolving. We're all evolving. So we're here to help each other to evolve. And we want to fill you up with uplifting messages, offer new perspectives, some tools, some resources, offer some new wellness ideas, maybe some mindset shifts. And we just want you to have a stronger belief in yourselves. So we're here to give you permission to be your best self. So welcome. We're so glad you're here. Okay. Hi, everybody. Evolving Women, another episode with an amazing guest co host. And I have with me today Robin Anderson Gibbs. Hi, Robin. Thanks for
Hello.
coming.
It's nice to be here with you.
And I'm Teresa Lisum, and we have a couple of guests with us today who are listening. And so thank you, ladies, for being here to this episode of Evolving Women. And we're just going to dive right in. The topic we're going to talk about today is reinventing yourself. I know I've reinvented myself multiple times over my lifetime, and I'm guessing every other woman has done that at some point for whatever reason. Either you were forced into it, you did it by choice. It was just a growing phase that you gradually grew into this new version of yourself. But let's go see where the breadcrumbs take us, Robin. So, what's your thoughts to get us started on that?
Well, I'm going to start by asking you to put in the chat what your biggest
Yeah,
challenge.
I'm in a meeting.
Hi,
Can
Tammy.
I? Oh,
I'm going to go ahead and mute her. So,
Um, and what holds you back? So it could be like finances, relationships, health, organization, self-esteem, or self-confidence skills.
so for those who are here, feel free to drop that in the chat.
I'm going to put that into the chat.
I know for me, it was always the self worthiness
Yeah.
issue. Worthy enough to speak in a group, worthy enough to be visible and seen. That was something I was constantly dealing with pretty much my whole adult life.
And this is my first podcast, and I want to thank you for holding my hand through this process because I wanted to do this, but something in my mind was holding me back.
Oh, well, here you go.
So I just love it.
Taking the step.
Yeah. And I have let me see if I can, yeah. Okay, I have some notes that I can glance at as we go. So one woman I know reinvented herself after her divorce. And I watched that process, and it was just so cool to see how she was making new choices for herself, coming up with a new income flow, um, a new environment, new place to live, in giving up nearly everything she owned. She embraced giving,
Mm.
and she began giving through the Facebook marketplace. She would sell some things or give them, and through the Buy Nothing group. And I highly recommend those. And she taught me how to do that as well. And she just took such joy in each person and what they got, and their joy in getting these things, like one man's trash is the next man's treasure.
Hmm.
And I began doing the same, and I've had the same wonderful experience of people explaining to me why this was meaningful to them, like a backpack that was the
Oh,
color of her childhood bedroom.
yeah. So, like
Yeah.
the stories behind what she was
Yeah.
giving away.
Yes. Or one woman who was moving and didn't have room for her headboard, but she had room for a bed frame. and that I was giving away, and came and got that and told me how much it meant. And, it's just been really heartwarming.
Yeah,
And,
stories are
um,
make stories behind, like the history behind, always makes things a little bit more special.
right, right.
Mhm.
Human touch.
Mhm.
So my sister mentioned a friend of hers that reinvented herself after the death of her husband. And, she just began to do new things, and all one of the things was playing pickleball in her city,
Mhm.
you know. Um, so last summer I met with my high school classmates for our 50th reunion. And we all decided, a bunch of us decided to start getting together once a month. And so we go out to dinner once a month. And at one of these dinners, I told them that I'm now a life and business coach. And one classmate said, Robin, I vote you as the classmate most likely to reinvent themselves at any age. And so that was
Yay.
kind of cool. And then, hearing of these other people or watching them reinvent themselves, it's kind of like when we learn about our Clifton strengths, um, we had them. We
Mhm.
maybe were semi-aware of them, but to have it, it's like the great reveal, and you actually see it and own it. And so
Mhm.
hearing that about myself, that I reinvent myself at any age, I thought, well, yeah, actually I do.
Mhm.
And I have
Yeah.
some examples in this. Um, and another friend recently commented, you're always reinventing yourself. So,
And
you know,
that's a compliment.
yeah. And it just, when you asked me to come on the podcast with you, that came to me, and I thought, that would be a great topic, because I thought, what a great concept of reinventing ourselves. And if we can use the most difficult times of our life and use those as an opportunity to reinvent ourselves and say, what is meaningful to me? What
Mhm.
do I want to do?
Yeah. And I love that you said at any age, reinvent yourself
Yeah,
at any age. I
right,
don't like to hear people use their age as an excuse.
right, right.
Oh, at my age, blah, blah, blah,
I'm
insert
too old for
whatever,
that. Yeah,
well, I'm almost 78, like that's just,
yeah,
it's just an excuse in my opinion.
right.
Um, and it's funny when younger people say it, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you're kidding me. You're
Well,
just
my
a baby
husband,
and you don't think you can reinvent yourself. But I mean, it is reinventing ourselves can be scary,
yeah,
can come with uncertainty. Well, it does come with uncertainty.
absolutely.
But I think it still is good for us. It's good for our brain. It's good for us to step out and move that comfort zone a little bit farther out for ourselves.
And it's a self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so my husband went to pick up a cabinet, freestanding cabinet that we're going to use as a linen closet. And this kid that was there to give it to him and all mentioned something about, I think it was his uncle or something that was in the hospital and I think he had had a heart attack or something. He said, but he's pretty old. He's like 55.
Oh my gosh.
My husband said, well, I eclipsed that a long time ago.
It's all about perspective. It's
Yeah,
all perspective and where
yeah.
you're at in life.
And people get younger and younger every
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. But I
year.
applaud you for, stepping into this podcast opportunity, uncertain, not sure about it, little bit unnerving, a little scary, out of your comfort zone. But hey, you're here, you're doing it anyway. So we
Right.
applaud you for that.
One of my
And
favorite books is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway
yeah,
by
exactly.
Susan Jeffers.
Yeah, do it anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
I see so many people that I feel are successful and they're kind of like where I would like to be, like
Mm,
at a higher level in their success. And I've heard so many of them say that they have these fears. They have like their own issues that they're dealing with. Like they're trying to reinvent themselves or that, you know, like I think you already mentioned, like, and that always makes me feel kind of good. Like, oh, okay. If they're kind of uncertain and they're nervous and they're afraid, but they're doing it anyway, then why can't I do it?
yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
So
so that
some of
makes me
the
feel good that other people with a higher level of success feel similar, just about different things, you know.
right, right. So some of the ways that I reinvented myself, and I didn't even start from, like when I was 12, I started yoga. And I actually began teaching people yoga when I was 12. So I've been teaching
Wow.
yoga for over 55 years. But I became certified yoga teacher at 43. And the following year, I started my own yoga teacher certification course, where I trained over 100 people as yoga instructors, even like a retired Marine and a retired
Cool.
state trooper. So
Very
that was
cool.
really interesting. A lot of variety of people, and it was wonderful.
Talk
I got,
about reinventing themselves.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I got divorced at 48 and I became a master yogi at 50. And I began singing in my church choir at 57. The following year, I became a wellness advocate for dōTERRA and I began belly dancing.
Ooh, I love belly dancing. Ooh, that's so fun.
And after a bit, I began to teach others. Just a fun class.
Mm-hmm.
And I may have a gig coming up on that because I taught a dōTERRA class at a Greek restaurant. And my friend who works there, who has just joined my team, was saying that she'd like to learn belly dance. And she just wants a fun, casual
Mm-hmm.
class. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, well, I can do that.
Oh, that is fun.
So um, the year that I began the belly dancing and the singing and became a wellness advocate, all of that, I lost 3 family members that year.
Mm.
And it was those things that carried me through, that brought more joy to my life and helped me to focus on those instead of focusing on the loss.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And at 62, I remarried. And talk about reinventing yourself. Randy joined the church with me. He had grown up in that church and become an Eagle Scout there. And he joined my dōTERRA business. And he joined both choirs I was in. And we've just had so much fun. And I've learned to play golf with him. He's a great teacher. So
Mm,
he's reinvented himself as well.
for sure. And
As
you're
well as
on.
reinventing our house because he built a 3-story colonial around a 1.5 bedroom bungalow,
Mm,
and he's working on finishing that off.
yeah, and it sounds like you're on this reinvention journey together.
Yes,
Love that. That is
and
fabulous. When
and
you
one of
both can go along for the ride in tandem together. Not all of us have that.
so I have a picture of him and I at that was taken at one of the dōTERRA conventions, and it's in front of the saying by Yoko Ono, a dream that you dream alone is just a dream, but a dream
Mm,
you dream together is reality.
love that.
And
It's
so he
beautiful.
has that over his desk. I
Mm,
made it up into a silk screen um, photo, whatever. So yeah, it is. It's really helpful. And, it doesn't have to be your spouse. It can be anyone that you reinvent yourself with, choose an accountability partner.
Yep.
So during the pandemic, I found myself sinking into depression, and I had begun to say to friends, I'm really struggling. And then I realized that by saying that, I was just creating more struggle. So I decided that I needed to do something, and I decided to begin rereading the book You Can Heal Your Life by Louise L. Hay, because that had been really helpful to me when I went through my divorce. And as I began reading, she said something about a path to healing. And I thought, that's it. I'm not struggling. I'm on a path to healing. Because one of the concepts that I've learned over the years is to consider, what if the opposite were true? And so, that was the opposite. Is I'm on a path to healing, and I'm
Love
going to
that.
choose what it is. I'm going to reinvent myself in
Love
my
that.
way, not just because somebody said you should do this or you should do that, but I'm going to choose for myself. And it could be as simple like I began writing down in a journal every day. I hadn't been journaling in a long time, because when I reread one of my journals, it was just a rant. And I thought, that's not helping me. So with this journal, I decided to write down the good things I was doing for myself each day to heal, to feel better, to feel more confident or whatever. And so I began writing that, and I decided to choose an accountability partner, someone that I sent it to every day. And Tammy says she's reading it
Yeah, how
right
cool is
now.
that? What a
Yeah,
great
and we're
coincidence.
in sync, Tammy.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah. Um, so anyway, I send my journal to her every day, and if I miss a couple of days, she'll say, I miss you. I haven't heard from you lately. And it's just that little nudge that gets me right back on track. And sometimes it's just been a couple of busy days. And sometimes maybe I needed to step back for a couple of days, but stepping back for a couple of days gives me a new perspective.
Right.
So,
Can I just interrupt?
yes,
First of all,
absolutely.
I applaud you for reaching out during the pandemic when you knew you needed some extra support. Not everybody is willing to do that or thinks to do that. So that is a huge thing. And I understand where you're coming from. Like, you don't want to keep that energy going, but just the fact that you were able to reach out and get some support is a huge step that you took for yourself on that path to healing.
Yeah, and just choosing someone that you feel safe with. Like the person I chose, what I say of her is that if I say I did nothing today, I feel like crap, and maybe I'm in a rant or whatever, and she'll say, good for you. And if I have accomplished a bazillion things, she'll say, good for you. But that's what I need. And looking, some people need someone who's going to push them and say, no, that's not good enough. That's not me. I need someone who's going to affirm me. And so that's what I chose in my accountability partner.
Yeah, I like that you said you had to choose the right person.
Yes.
That's important. You don't want to just pick anybody, any random person, somebody that's going to support you in the way that you need supported at any moment in time.
Right.
So yeah, and I love the whole path to healing. That is fabulous. I love that you wrote down, sounds like you wrote down positive things that were happening or that you wanted to happen or what we're going to keep you moving forward on that path. So actually writing them down so you could, keep them in your awareness. Love that. That's a great
And
thing to try.
It could be as simple as I played Sudoku all day because I needed to just chill out,
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it could be very simple. And again, it was what I chose, not what someone else thought I should do. Not that I'm opposed to, I certainly took advice and gleaned from other people, but I wanted it to be ultimately my choice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We have our
Not
own oh, I can't even say the word today. Sovereignty. No, I'm not saying it right. All right, we're going to skip that. Your own choice I love that you took the power. The choice was yours.
our own inner wisdom and
Yes,
honoring
thank you.
that.
There's a
Yeah,
word for that, but it's
yeah.
not coming out of my mouth today for some reason. So I am going to invite you to take a look at our chat. We did have the ladies drop in a few things that you might be able to address. And while you're doing that, I just want to circle back around to the strengths. Both Robin and I are really advocates for knowing and understanding your strengths. I refer to them as our superpowers.
Right,
And sometimes I've heard people, they don't know who they are now, if they're having to step in this new chapter, this new phase after, like you said, a divorce or retirement or a
empty
health
nest.
issue, like who are they now?
Yeah,
And so some people don't really know. So they might be kind of floundering. So taking that Gallup strengths assessment is a great starting point. I mean, we both of us will both agree on that. And that kind of
absolutely.
sheds some light on what's important to you and what you care about. And that could help people, identify either this new identity that they want to create for themselves or remind them of an identity that maybe they have let fall away or
Right.
got lost.
Yeah. The parts about yourself that you once loved but you were no longer in touch with,
Mm-hmm.
you can expand on or own again.
I love the way you said that.
Um, so the timing of my path to healing dovetailed beautifully with a 10-day tapping summit, emotional freedom technique tapping, and which is wonderful if you aren't familiar with it or haven't experienced it. It's wonderful for shifting your mindset. And the words, even though, like you start out saying, even though I'm feeling, whatever it might be, um, I can still move forward or I can still, but it's the even though. So it's accepting where you are
Mm.
and then saying, from here, I can do things that are going to strengthen me, empower me, whatever.
Right. To make a
Shift my life.
change.
Yeah.
Yeah. To make a change, to reinvent myself. So
Yeah.
even though I'm here, even though this is happening, or, I'm questioning this, or I can get to that point. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but
Yeah.
I'm committed to making that change.
And part of visualization, one of the tips I learned on that was about getting off the Ways and Means Committee. So you put out there what you want, but instead of you are trying to figure out the whole thing, you get off the Ways and Means Committee and allow God, the universe, to support you.
Mm,
And
I
I'll give
love
you an
that.
example of that is I had a client, I'm a Thai body worker and I do aroma touch treatments and and private yoga classes and different things. And this woman in her 80s had been coming to me for aroma touch treatments. And I always told her, Fran, if you can't come to me at some point, I will come to you. Just know that I'm willing to come to you. So she called me and said, Robin, how you said you would come to me if I couldn't come to you. I've taken a fall, but I
Mm.
really need you to come. And so I said, sure, I'll do that. But I said, I've closed my yoga center, so I don't have a center for you to come to anyway. And she said, well, do you have a table? And of course, I had just given them away. And,
Mm.
so I said, no, I don't, but we'll figure it out. So I hung up and I thought, oh man, I really should have a table for Fran. So I need a free massage table by tomorrow because I was broke. And I thought I need a free massage table by tomorrow. I can't even afford a cheap one on Craigslist or whatever. And I thought, okay, God, I need a free massage table by tomorrow. And I'm going to get off the Ways and Means Committee. So I thought, I'm just going to be here now. Okay, where am I? Oh, I'm in my car and I'm driving to my friend Laura's. Oh, yeah. Last time I was at Laura's, she said I could have her massage table. I got there and said, that massage table you said I could have? She said, yeah, you want it? Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I love that.
So
That
I love that example of that.
yeah, that is.
Another thing you mentioned, um, making small changes and progress. And I like to say that my husband and I have become progress junkies because
Mm.
if we can't be happy until the house is finished, we're going to have a long time of unhappiness. But if we take joy in each, like if he comes in with a ladder, or like he brought in some sheetrock the other day, and I'm like, yay, he's gonna fix that wall upstairs so we can paint and I know it's progress. Any little tiny bit of progress, it has taught me how to really appreciate each step of life.
I
Each,
love that.
you know,
Progress junkies. That's fabulous.
yeah, yeah.
And
So
that's really good.
so anyway, I started doing this journal and I got an accountability partner. And then after a couple of months, and now I say after a couple of months now, I was going to do it for 10 days because I thought, okay, I can do anything for 10 days. I'm going to do this tapping summit and I'll just start this path to healing and that'll be part of it. Well, I'm still doing it. And that was in 2021.
Mm. I love when things turn into short-term things turn into long-term habits like that.
Yeah,
That's cool. Or practice.
right. So I realized I was creating the book that people have always told me I should write. So I am writing a book about my path to healing.
Ooh, congratulations.
So I just think this whole concept of reinventing ourselves is such a great concept
Yes.
because
It's
using those circumstances, the worst things of our life, like um, when I had to close my center, that was so heartbreaking. But instead, I looked for ways to reinvent myself.
mhm.
I knew I couldn't afford to go through a divorce. I'm not a divorcee. I'm sorry, a depression. I was already divorced and I had to move back in with my ex-husband of 10 years.
Mm,
And I just had to be happy anyway.
mm,
And so I took joy in everything that I could, and the fact that I had a roof over my head and that
mhm.
he was willing to allow me to stay there.
Yeah.
That he still owed me money, so I didn't have to pay for it.
Yeah, that was a blessing there.
Yeah.
I just so you know, Robin, I am watching the time here. We're
Okay.
probably gonna wrap it up here very shortly, but I don't know if you want to address anything that was in the chat that
Yes, and I'm going
you could,
to put a list in here also. Um, Wait a minute.
because you originally asked if anybody, a challenge they had, somebody
Yes.
said confidence. Somebody said, money, moving forward, organization. And we're not going to be able to address
Mhm.
all of them, but maybe take
So I
one
would like
little
to,
one.
what I'd like to do is, I'm doing organization with Mandy on Mondays now. We do an organized workshop and just, we go over a couple of concepts and then we spend 15 minutes organizing the area of our choice. And then we go back and read what, I do a couple more tips on organizing and we do another 15 minutes. So it's having someone there accountable for you that keeps you on track. And I attended one organizing workshop and said, oh, I got to do this on my own. So I started doing an organized workshop, which I do once a month. And then
Wow.
Mandy and I are doing it as part of our coaching.
Love that. Very multi-passionate for sure. And it sounds like you become interested and passionate about something, and then you take that and share that with the world.
That's
So,
how I learn. That's
yeah,
how I learn is by
exactly.
teaching
Exactly.
others. Yeah.
Yeah. Sharing what
Um,
we're learning helps us learn it even better by teaching somebody else. So
right.
that's a
I
easy
put
way
in,
to reinvent yourself. Learn something
yeah,
and then teach somebody else.
yes, yes. It just integrates it into you, helps you
Hmm.
to embrace it more and put it more into practice.
Yeah, love
I
that.
put a list here as well of things that you struggle with or need help with, and I address all of these in my coaching. I would like to share. Um,
Go ahead and see if that works.
okay,
And as you're doing that, I'm going to let everybody know that they can find your contact information in the description that'll be with this recording.
great.
So you can get a hold of Robin by checking those, that description. Here's what she's got going on.
So these are some of the different things that I offer. The creative organization, the next workshop will be December 2nd, and you're welcome to join us. It is $19, but you can get $10 off by inviting a friend, and they can do the same. I'm doing an Essential Oils for Your Life class tomorrow, November 14th from 5 to 6. And I'm doing a Power of Aroma, which is for realtors. So the what, how, and why of aroma in selling a home. So if you have any realtor friends or if you're a realtor, that would be a good one for you. All of these are on my website, essentialrr.com. So these workshops will be under events and my services are under services link. And I'm also doing a Be the Best You with Strengths, which tells about how strengths can be helpful to you. And that's the Clifton Strengths Assessment that Teresa has mentioned.
Yeah, lots of things to pick from. And if you're watching this recording after these dates, just go to essentialrr.com and you'll see the most recent ones. So thank you for sharing that, Robin. And thank you for being here and sharing all kinds of stuff. I really want to, and I'm going to give you an opportunity for your last thoughts, but my takeaway is you can reinvent yourself at any age,
Right,
any
absolutely.
time, and just kind of follow your joy, follow your bliss. If you find something that excites you, it might excite somebody else, and maybe you could share that with them or teach them. I love the progress junkie, fall in love with progress,
Yeah,
not necessarily that end goal, but it's just all about keeping growth happening. We're here to grow and to learn. And I've seen a lot of people stop that process and then they start to contract and diminish on multiple levels. So
Right.
I'm certain agree on this. Keep on growing, keep on growing, keep on trying, keep on reinventing. And that's going to keep you full of vitality and full of life until boom, your very last moment on this planet. So what can you
And
share
I
with us
feel like,
before we call this episode a wrap?
yes, I just feel like I am enjoying life so much more. I'm enjoying my work, my home, my life,
Mm-hmm.
everything about it because it's what I choose. I mean, it's like it's my time. You know,
Yes.
my husband and I met on the matching app of our time.
Oh, how
And,
cool.
yeah,
How
yeah. So I give
appropriate.
a plug for them as well. It really worked out well. It's for the over 55.
I love that. Up me.
Dancing. She requested a line dance at a wedding and was told that the bride requested that there be no vintage songs played.
Gosh, vintage. I like that. Vintage. But I want to thank the ladies that have joined us here today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Robin. We
Thank you,
appreciate you
Mandy and
being here.
Tim.
And
I've worked
again,
with
go check
Tammy
her
on.
out.
Yeah.
Um, I'll look in the description and let's continue this conversation another time then, Robin. All right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you
So
so much.
I've helped Tammy with PowerPoints, creating PowerPoints and all. So they both experienced some of my coaching and help and are great friends. Thank you for being here,
Yeah,
guys.
that was very nice to jump on and support Robin. So thank you, ladies. All right,
Yeah.
my friends, everybody who's watching this, we appreciate you being here and look for other episodes. Check out Evolving Women, all the wonderful women I get to speak with, and subscribe while you're there. Okay, my friends, thanks so much. Bye bye.